Hello, and welcome to The Topic, where we highlight not just Houston Community College, but also our students, our programs, and our reach into the community. I'm Daniel Scholl, one of the friendly financial coaches here at HCC TV, and we're here every Thursday afternoon when HCC is in session. We're live at 2 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. You can also follow us on social media as Houston Community College District and watch us on HCC TV via your local cable provider. HCC's vast academy provides programs and services that lead to credentials, employment, and independence for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. On today's show, we're going to learn more about what VAST has to offer. And first up, we're going to talk to Dr. Derek Irvin, the program director for VAST at Central College. Hello, Dr. Irvin. How are you today? I think you're on mute there, Dr. Irvin.
I'm good, Daniel. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We're thrilled that you're here. VAST is indeed vast. Y'all do a lot of different work. Can you kind of give us an overview of what VAST is?
Yeah, we do. We're doing God's work here. So the VAST Academy, the VAST acronym, which stands for Vocational Advancement and Skills Training, we work with students 18 to 25 that are part of the intellectual and developmentally disabled community. The program we're in our 35th year. We're in our 35th year. Sue Maraska, who is our director, she is the founder of the program, founded in 1990. She was the one lone instructor teaching a very small life skills class, and she has taken and built the program into this great department that we currently have now. We got 3 locations. The Central Campus or the Midtown Campus is the office that I oversee. We have the Spring Branch office that's overseen by Dina Webster. And then we also have the Stafford Campus that's overseen by Dr. Deborah Lewis. We have some 15 courses that we offer training in, from job search skills to math to 2 reading courses, 2 computer classes. We have a number of electives that we also train students in as well. And when we look at what we do overall, academically, there's 2 things that stands out, and that is self-advocacy, because, we want our students to be able to be self-advocates, right? We know we live in an imperfect world, and those of us that I work with here in the program is not going to always be here. And we definitely advocate for our students, but we're not going to always be around, nor, or on the same token, neither with their parents or guardians. So we do a lot of instruction around self-advocacy and, of course, employment. And when we look at self-advocacy and employment, the main thing that, when you can sum it all up, is independence. We want our students to be able to be independent, whether that's living on their own after they finish the program or what have you, if that's indeed their goal.
Okay, so independence is a word I think that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. How do you define independence, or is that just different for every student?
It's going to be different for every student, but one of the main terms when we look at independence, so if they want to live on their own, as opposed to living at home, that they're going to receive all sorts of training on being independent, from when we look at the math class, how to keep a checkbook, how to pay bills, how to self-advocate for themselves. If they get a job, can they catch public transportation on their own if they don't have driver licenses or what have you? So independence in that respect overall.
And when you talk about advocating, I hear you say that you're going to teach them to advocate for themselves, which is incredible, but you also advocate for the students, I understand. What does that entail? What does that look like?
Yeah, one of the best examples in terms of answering that question, Daniel, is, we live in an imperfect world, right? And so when we're not around, let's say they just go to, say, the cafeteria here on campus, and students are going to be students. All types of students are going to be students. And we had just last fall a student here at the Central Campus who was sort of kind of making fun of one of our students. And she ran back here to the campus office and shared that with me. And of course, I was right on it. I said, come on, let's go see who this was. By the time we got there, of course, that student was gone. And so we looked and she didn't see them, but we came back to the office and I basically had a sit down conversation with her and share with her, okay, here's what you can do next time. You can just say stop. You can just say stop. or look for, say, some other staff member on campus, or even the police, and let them know that you have someone that's, that's mocking them, or what have you. And so that's the biggest example and latest example when we talk about self-advocacy. They are welcome here, they belong here, and they have a right to just say stop, right? For example, or if they're in a grocery store and, the clerk might give them back the incorrect change. We want to make sure they understand how to stand up for themselves when we are their parents or their guardians or are not around.
That's wonderful. I think that's incredible level of commitment to our students. But I had a friend once tell me that they understand everything, but they're slightly uncomfortable around people with disabilities. What would you say to that person who is just, they're not mean, they're not, having animosity, but they're just not comfortable? Is there advice that you would give somebody who feels that way?
Yeah. We just share with them that just look at them like any other person and just be patient, right? Because if they show patience and they're acting or interacting with our students in a way that shows them to be welcome, then that calms our students down, right? And so here at the Central Campus, and not just Central Campus, all of our locations, we work very closely with the different offices, from financial aid to the business office to the ADA office. We work very close with them. The ADA office, of course, they've been trained in all things when it comes to people with disabilities, right? But when you look at the financial aid office and student services, they don't always have the skill set. So we work very closely with those offices. And the one thing that we can share with them on the front end, just be yourself and just be patient. Sometimes it takes our students a little while to kind of explain themselves. And if we or don't respond in a way that makes them calm, then they just stand there and sometimes just sort of don't know what to say. But when they can talk with them in a nice, soft tone and just repeat what they think they've heard, then that helps us, to calm the student down, and they do well. They end up doing well, and even when we're not there sometimes. So, yeah.
That's great. That's great. One last question for you. What do you hope that a student's life looks like when they graduate?
Independence, if that's their goal. Independence, if that's their goal. And then two, we are a transition program, right? So once they go through the 2-year program, because we are a 2-year program, if they want to go on to other academic or non-credit certificate programs, that they are able to do that. And so as they're matriculating to the program, we're working with them on defining what are their goals, because they're a part of the IDD community, right? And so sometimes they want to do a multitude of things, and we're not going to discourage them. We just want to help them focus on, say, getting through the program first and identifying what is it they want to do beyond the program, whether it's employment or moving on to some other academic or non-academic certificate program.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like the goal for all of our students here at HCC.
Yeah, absolutely.
You truly are doing God's work out there, and thank you for coming and sharing for this. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to discover how VAST connects alumni with employment.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
For more than a year, we have kept you informed with more than 500 remote episodes. But now we're back, bigger and better, with more news and more guests. Join us live every weekday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube, and on HCC TV at noon and 5 p.m. You can watch from anywhere. We go where you go.
And welcome back to the topic. We're still talking about VAST Academy. And in this segment, we welcome Sandra Pierce, the Director of Employment Services for VAST. Sandra, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're thrilled that you're here. So, you're in charge of employment services. What employment services are available to our vast alumni?
We have a range of services that are available to our alumni. We have job clubs that we host on every Tuesday at 11 o'clock, where students have an opportunity to hear about current postings and how to apply for those. They can also request an appointment so that we can train them on how to apply for those jobs. On Thursdays, we reteach content that they've learned while they were in classes, as well as introducing them to new content so that they don't lose skills. So they have an opportunity to do interview training. Today, our topic was networking, so we worked on networking, resume building, and one of the things that Dr. Irvin mentioned is that we teach them how to advocate for themselves as they go through whether they're going to enroll in a certificate program or whether they're going to learn to advocate for themselves at work. In addition to that, we work with community partners in helping our students also to get employment. We work with Texas Workforce Commission to help them. Like some of our students, after we help them to find a job, they need a job coach. So we don't do job coaching, but we work with community partners that do. So we help them to transition into that as well.
Wow, that's an incredible amount of services, and that's free to all vast alumni.
It is free to all vast alumni, and sometimes our students lose employment like anybody else in the workplace, so they can come back and tap into those services again.
Okay, so that's not limited to like 6 months after graduation or anything like that.
No.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
As you're working with these, community partners, what kind of trends of employment opportunities are you seeing that are available to these students and that they're interested in?
Well, you know what? That's growing, and that's a good thing. So I have been at the college for right at 14 years, and I've seen a big change in the types of jobs that our students are looking for. And I really attribute that to the whole community, right? So what's happening with the high schools, what's happening in our classrooms, and then what we're teaching them after they graduate. So, and the reason I say that, when I first came on, our students were wanting to do retail, restaurants, and working with animals. That's changed a lot. So now our students are looking at, they want to do administrative type work. They want to learn about AI. They want to learn about cybersecurity. And that's because of the exposure, right? So some of our students, when they come to us, they've already had an opportunity to get engaged with us by doing STEM camps and different things like that on the summer. So we're exposing them at every level. So what we see when they graduate, they're asking for a variety of occupations to go into.
And that's wonderful that that's growing, but on both sides, right? Not just the interest, but also the opportunities. How do you prepare students for the modern day workforce?
One of the things that I, take to heart is making sure that I, number one, am well versed about what the employer community is looking for. And that goes a little bit further than, what is on a job posting. So I stay connected with the Workforce Board, the Gulf Coast Workforce Board, as well as Workforce Solutions, but reading the job postings that are going out. And then also when I see an employer post, jobs often, picking up the phone to ask questions, because sometimes what they're asking for and what they're looking for is a little bit different than what's on the posting. So getting myself familiar with that, communicating that back to the instructors. And then what we do on when we have the Tuesday job clubs, I introduce an industry every week. So sometimes a student is able to see a job that they may not have thought about, but they're learning a little bit about it. So they'll see a short video clip, and then I'll talk to them about what the prerequisites are, and then what would that look like for an entry-level job, and then how would they grow in that if they decided to take that as a career path.
That's awesome. So when you're talking to employers, I assume like that's an ongoing conversation. You probably talk to employers that hire our students. What
Yes.
feedback do you get about our graduates?
You know what? I get a lot of great feedback about it, and I get excited about that. So um, now, we have some employers that come directly to us. Okay. So usually I'm going to take like a new employer. So if we get a new employer partner and we're helping a student to find a job, sometimes we do a lot of hand holding, going in, talking to supervisors, identifying a workplace mentor to be able to help the student to be successful in that. But what I find is that then they come back to us, because what they tell us is that the students, they show up on time. They're dependable, right? They want to learn. And so they end up coming back for another student. Also, one of the things that I hear often is that, you know what? Not only did this improve morale within our organization, but some of the things that you guys implemented for time management, we've been able to use in other areas to increase productivity for some of our staff. So it's a good marriage all the way around.
Wow. So, okay, we've got a few minutes left. Just out of curiosity, what are you doing in time management that is perking everybody's interest?
Okay, so I'm going to use one. Well, actually, I'll use M.D. Anderson, because that's one of our big employer partners, and that's one where we're actually getting ready to kick back internships with them. So when we started with M.D. Anderson, we were in dining services, and then we've kind of grown into other areas like HR, expediting, bringing meals to patients in different rooms. Well, one of the things that happened, I think, in year 2 of us being there at M.D. Anderson is that one of our students, we didn't know that the student had some type of a hearing deficit, but there was almost an incident where there could have been he could have gotten hurt in the kitchen area. So when that incident happened, I went on site and I did my little investigating, trying to figure out what was happening. And we found out that in the whole HR and boarding process and looking at that student to work in that environment, we didn't, was it in our process? Was it in their process? We didn't look at hearing. We didn't look at the environmental, all of the environmental aspects of it. So what we ended up implementing reduced, those incidents in the kitchen all around. So after that, all of us got comfortable, and we ended up moving into Starbucks, because what we did as a team highlighted possible issues that could have happened not only with our students, but with other students. And then we ended up expanding in areas that we might not have in the beginning.
Well, that's great success story, and it's inspiring to hear the commitment that you have to our students. I mean, this is not just teaching the classroom. This is really digging into their lives and making a huge difference. I want to thank you so much for coming on today, Sandra, and telling us these stories, and just keep doing the great work. We're going to take one more quick break, and when we return, we're going to talk about how HCC helps VAST students cross the bridge when they come to it.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome Welcome back to the topic. We're talking about VAST Academy today. And in this segment, Madelyn Traylor, a success coach with VAST, will tell us about the Bridge to Careers program. Madelyn, welcome in.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm so excited to be a part of this program today.
Oh, well, we're excited that you're here. Love talking about VAST. But I'm not familiar with this Bridge to Careers. What can you tell me about that?
Well, let me tell you, Daniel, about this amazing new initiative. And we really believe that it will be a game changer for many, many individuals. So our Pathway Bridge to Careers is a workforce ready initiative that we have created to support our students, specifically those that have intellectual or developmental delays or differences, as they transition into meaningful career pathways. That's what we're doing. We receive funding from the Moody Foundation to expand the work that we're already doing here at VAST. And so we are so excited about this. We'll be able to provide support for students who desire to enroll in a certificate program or even earn a degree here at HCC. So this is for our IDD individuals who may have been enrolled in VAST or not. But this is an amazing opportunity that we are excited to share with everyone. So this program is not just a direction, Daniel, it's a course of action. Our goal here is to empower students with an action plan that aligns with their purpose meeting their passion. So we're helping these individuals take confident steps toward a fulfilling future. And we're giving them those keys to success through personalized guidance, coaching, and educational support. And we're going to be walking right alongside them as they pursue their goals, as they move forward in their educational journey.
Wow, that's incredible commitment to our students. Is this something that just automatically happens, or do students enroll in this program?
Yeah, so interested individuals can enroll by contacting our office. They can complete an interest form or an application. And we're also hosting regular information sessions for students and families, because we know it's going to take an entire village, right? So they can ask questions. We can be able to answer those questions or the concerns that they may have. But our team, and we really believe that we are the dream team, right? We're here to help them every step of the way, Daniel. And they're not in this alone. We want them to succeed at whatever path they desire to take.
And this is for HCC alumni?
This is for everyone. So they don't necessarily have to be HCC alumni. Again, these are for students who may have been in VAST or not. If they're IDD individuals, we're here to help them as they pursue their educational goals.
Wow, so this is something really we provide to the entire Houston community.
Yes. So we're really, really excited about this amazing opportunity. Like I said, Daniel, we believe this is really going to be a game changer.
And what are your kind of goals for the project? What are your goals for the students and the alumni?
Our goals for our students is not only to expand career aligned learning opportunities for them here at HCC, whether that means earning a certificate, completing a degree, or just mastering a specific skill. So we're going to empower those students by providing that support, those weekly touch points. We're going to have tailored support for each of them with our team. So it's 3 of us on this team that are going to be helping them so that they can thrive in whatever path they decide to take. We're going to be preparing those students to enter the workforce, ensuring that they're not just workforce ready, but they're empowered and equipped to succeed and to grow. So we're going to have clear, defined pathways from education to employment, Daniel. And that includes internships, hands-on-the-job training, and then giving them those real-world experiences. And like Sandra said, we're also going to be partnering with employers to bridge that gap between learning and hiring. So when the students complete our pathway to bridges to success, we want them, and I'm calling it a bridge to success, not just to careers, but to success. So they're going to be stepping into this path equipped and ready to go. And they're not just going to walk in the path, Daniel. We believe they're going to run in the path and they're going to win.
Well, with that kind of energy and support behind them, I don't see how they have any other choice but to run into success. I love your choice of words there. And even though I know you kind of said you prefer success to careers, I do like the fact that you are talking about careers, right?
That's
You're not
right.
talking about a job. You're talking about a career. And I think that's a big difference in how we approach our work.
That's right. It's more than just a job. And like Sandra was mentioning earlier, a lot of times, you know, those are people from the population that we work with were often regulated to doing, you know, I don't want to say meaningless jobs, but a certain type of job. But we want to expand, you know, their capabilities. We want to let the public know that these individuals can not only be a valuable asset to your organization, but they can come in and really help the whole organization to be able to move forward, whatever role that they're in.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Madelyn, for coming in today and sharing what you do, and also to Dr. Irvin and I totally blanked your name, Sandra. Thank you all so much for coming in today and talking about the incredible work that VAS is doing. It makes me proud to be a member of the HCC community. And on behalf of everyone here today, I want to thank all of you who did join into the topic. If you're enjoying the show, please follow us on Facebook and YouTube as Houston Community College District. To listen to the topic and more HCC TV programming, visit hccs.edu/podcasts. For everyone here at the topic and HCC TV, I'm Daniel Scholl. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week.